25 now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Adam Seibel. Early voting in Victoria for the November 7th election continued Friday. The numbers from the Victoria County Election Administrator look like this. 288 people voted in person early Friday. 955 people have voted early in Victoria County so far. 6 mail-in votes were received Friday. A total of 335 mail-in votes so far. You can vote early in Victoria County all next week. The hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and extended hours 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday and Friday. You can vote at the Dr. Patty Dotson Health Center, 2805 North Navarro in Classroom A. In this Texas constitutional amendment election, Proposition 7 would authorize the creation of the Texas Energy Fund. It would be established in the Texas Constitution to fund the construction, maintenance, modernization, and operation of facilities, electric generating facilities. Proposition 7 requires that the Public Utility Commission set aside money to eligible projects in each region with an electric power grid that are consistent with that region's load share. Election day is Tuesday, November 7th. There's some sad news for the fans of the 90s sitcom Friends. A representative for Matthew Perry and a law enforcement source said that Saturday the actor had died of an apparent drowning at his Pacific Palisades home in California. Perry was 54 years old. Law enforcement sources said that a 911 call came in at 4:07 p.m. today and it was treated as a water rescue. The source added that there was no apparent foul play. Perry was best known for his role on Friends as Chandler Bing, a statistical analyst known for his sarcasm and one-liners. More details surrounding Perry's death are still developing. The search for the suspect in that deadly shooting in Lewiston, Maine came to an end late Friday when authorities found the body of the suspect dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators say they received more than 800 tips during that manhunt, including from his family, who said he suffered from mental health issues and that it's possible he may have been looking for an ex-girlfriend who frequented the two locations where he opened fire.
Tonight, with the manhunt now over, authorities shifting the focus of their investigation into the motive behind the deadly mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine. It comes after authorities announced late Friday they found the body of 40-year-old Robert Card, dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Robert Card is no longer a threat to anyone.
Police say his body was found near the Androscoggin River in Lisbon Friday night by a recycling center where he used to work. Authorities say they had cleared that location twice.
Across the street, there's an overflow parking lot, which is the Recycling Corporation property. So the owner was very diligent to say, did you clear those trailers?
Investigators say they found a note describing it as a letter to family.
I wouldn't describe it as a explicit suicide note, but the tone and tenor was that the individual was not going to be around.
The suspect had been at large for more than 48 hours after allegedly going on a shooting rampage at a bowling alley and a bar, killing 18 people and wounding 14 others. We're now learning more about the victims. The youngest, Aaron Young, just 14 years old, killed along with his father Bill at the bowling alley.
Aaron loved to bowl, and it was something they did fairly regularly, and it just happened to be that night.
Arthur Strout, a father of 5, also died in that shooting. His own father was with him at the restaurant, but left 10 minutes before the gunman walked in and opened fire.
I'm there with my son, playing a couple games of pool, just laughing, and in that 10 minutes, he's just gone.
And officials say they took in more than 820 leads, many of them coming from the suspect's family. They've also opened up a victim services center to provide support for the victims' families. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Lisbon, Maine.
All right, it's time to talk weather on this Saturday night. Let's go ahead and check in with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Howie Gordon to see what your week will look like. Howie, pretty normal weather out there, or is this unseasonable?
We've been a little bit above average temperature-wise, but we are going to take a big dive below average, Adam, to kick off our work week with a front on the way. So here's our temps right now. Not bad, pushing 80. Then by tomorrow night, watch the boundaries start to come down. Look at that. Into the 50s we go. Monday and Tuesday, we can see wind chills into the 30s as these winds whip up. pretty strongly. And here's a look at our winds. So we can see winds in that 30, 35 mile per hour range. We'll drop down to 76 overnight. A different story 24 to 36 hours from now. And we'll touch on that in my full forecast in just a bit, Adam.
All right. Thanks, Howie. A tentative contract agreement has been reached with the United Auto Workers Union and Stellantis. The latest contract agreement follows a template set earlier this week by Ford. UAW members' initial demands included 40% pay increases, cost of living adjustments, and defined benefit pensions. News of the agreement has already reached President Biden, as he appeared to give the thumbs up when asked about the deal by reporters. President Biden released a statement applauding the UAW and Stellantis for coming together, calling it a testament to the power of unions and collective bargaining to build strong middle-class jobs. UAW President Shawn Fain confirmed the agreement in a video today. However, the deal is tentative and members at the company still have to vote on it. A groundbreaking ceremony was held in Uvalde today for a new school set to replace Robb Elementary. The Uvalde CISD Moving Forward Foundation plans to include a tribute to the 21 victims who were killed in that mass shooting at Robb Elementary in 2022. The proposed tribute will likely come in the form of a tree designed with 2 large branches to represent the teachers and 19 smaller branches to represent the students who lost their lives. The new campus is expected to accommodate 800 students, which is nearly twice as big as Robb Elementary, and new safety measures will also be built in. Those measures include fencing around the playground, keyless entry points, and privacy gates, a secure waiting space for visitors, and a new road to help first responders access the school. Senator Tim Scott announced Saturday that he has qualified for the upcoming Republican debate. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott says he now satisfied the RNC's donor requirement for the upcoming primary debate. The senator provided the update following his remarks at the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual summit. Senator Scott officially announced his plans to run for the Republican presidential nomination in May. Scott stated that his campaign has exceeded the 70,000 individual donors that was needed. He also thanked his supporters for donating, adding, quote, "Thank you to the conservatives who've chipped in $1, $5, and some even $500. What a blessing to live in a country that has that kind of response." Former Vice President Mike Pence is out of the 2024 race for president. The unexpected announcement came during the annual Republican Jewish Coalition convention in Las Vegas. Pence saying, quote, "It's become clear to me that it's not my time." The former vice president's campaign never gained traction as he confronted a GOP that's moved beyond the Reagan-era conservatism he embodied, as well as a crowded primary field dominated by support for former President Donald Trump. A lack of broad support also meant fundraising struggles, with Pence's latest campaign finance filing showing $600,000 in debt and only $1.2 million cash on hand. Even after it scrambled to meet the donor thresholds for the first 2 Republican primary debates, the campaign was unable to gain the 70,000 individual donors needed for the third. Grab your cell phone, scan that QR code. That's a quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can watch us anytime, anywhere, and get breaking news alerts and vote in our viewer polls. Learn all about our ongoing contests right there on the app, and you can submit news tips and photos. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up, Israel has launched an expanded ground operation into Gaza after knocking out communications and creating a near blackout of information in the Gaza Strip.
Temperatures are going to take a big hit. We can add rain and wind in the equation as well. We'll talk all about it coming up in just a bit.
Israel has launched an expanded ground operation into Gaza after knocking out communications and creating a near blackout of information in the Gaza Strip. Hamas claiming Israeli troops were ambushed in 3 areas and sustained casualties, but the IDF denying it has had any losses.
Israeli forces expanding ground operations inside Gaza. The IDF releasing video, it says, shows their forces across the border. Israeli fighter jets launching what it says is its heaviest bombardment since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. The IDF claiming it hit 150 targets overnight, killing 2 senior Hamas commanders and destroying underground tunnels. Despite the increased bombardment by Israel, Hamas still able to launch attacks from Gaza. A barrage of rockets fired into central Israel Saturday night.
Hamas is completely 100% intertwined with civilian society. So any military action against a legitimate military target, like cutting off Hamas from the rest of the world, is going to have an unintended consequence on the people, of the innocent people and the non-combatants.
The continued Israeli bombardment cutting off communications in Gaza, no phone or internet. Aid agencies like UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders, and the Palestinian Red Crescent saying they've lost contact with their teams. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with the families of some of the more than 200 hostages taken by Hamas. Moshe Lavi's brother-in-law is among those being held in Gaza.
We want to believe that the government, the Israeli government, and all other stakeholders making sure that the civilians who are held hostage in the Gaza Strip will be returned safely to Israel, either through this operation or negotiations.
The Biden administration keeping a close eye on these latest developments. There are concerns this expanded ground operation could derail negotiations to get those hostages or other foreign nationals still trapped in Gaza out. Amid the growing crisis, the UN General Assembly has adopted a resolution calling for an immediate, durable, and sustained humanitarian truce between Israeli forces and Hamas militants in Gaza. Israel responding, this is a black day for the UN, which has finally lost all relevance or legitimacy. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Jerusalem.
In some cities across the nation today, there were pro-Palestinian demonstrations. In New York City, demonstrators marched and shut down traffic on the Manhattan-bound side of the Brooklyn Bridge. They chanted, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," and the occupation has got to go. In Chicago, demonstrators carried signs calling on the U.S. to stop funding Israel. In Washington, D.C., demonstrators also chanted pro-Palestinian messages and waved Palestinian flags. They are calling for a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas. This comes as Israel ramps up its attacks on the ground in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the war is entering its second phase to destroy Hamas and bring the hostages home. He describes the war as Israel's second war of independence. 6 more aid trucks arrived in Gaza carrying a war surgery team and medical supplies. The trucks entered from Egypt on Friday. These are the trucks from the International Red Cross, which also brought in a weapons contamination specialist and water purification equipment. Today, an Israeli military spokesman said Israel would allow trucks carrying food, water, and medicine to enter Gaza, indicating bombing may pause in the border area with Egypt, where small amounts of aid have been arriving. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said more than 80 humanitarian aid trucks have made it to Gaza, but that the U.S. is aware that the fuel there is only anticipated to last a couple of days. Aid agencies have warned of a humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip, where more than 2 million people live. It's the final countdown to Halloween with just 3 days to go and costs on the rise. We're breaking down how you can still celebrate without breaking the bank.
What are you? A monk?
I'm a Sith Lord.
There's nothing scarier than having no plan as we head into a record-setting Halloween weekend like this one. Spending this spooky season expected to eclipse $12.2 billion.
On average, Americans are going to spend around $108 each just on Halloween items. People want to go out, socialize, party, and this is one way they're showing it.
But fear not, all you costumeless mortals. Social media is creeping it real. Hashtag Halloween costume ideas racking up 3.1 billion views, with more than 200 million in the last week alone. TikTok chock full of DIY ideas using clothes you already have.
From Padme
to Princess Diaries to this iconic internet moment.
You just need some jeans, belt, a fanny pack, jewels, and a turtleneck sweater.
This mom turned her son into a traffic sign. Or how about wrapping yourself in aluminum foil and going as a burrito? Or grab a black tea, a fake mustache, and a bad attitude, and presto, instant Scandival.
I don't know how it happened, it happened.
For any Fearless fans, a white tee, Sharpies, black glasses, and paper, and boom, Halloween, Taylor's version. If DIY isn't your thing, Scary Good costume deals are still available. Amazon offering discounts on costumes from T-Rex to Batman to a Toy Story alien. And maybe most importantly, sweet deals on sweet treats.
Monica, we need more candy.
Walmart has you covered with this 250-piece bag in stock for only $26.88.
So here's your viewer poll today. Do you plan to dress your pet up for Halloween? Yes or no? Looks like 7% say yes, you'll dress up that pet. 93% say no. We want to know, and also we have a system where you can post your photos. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote, and you can actually submit those awesome photos of your pet dressed up. Please send those in. I'm sure they will look great. For more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Strain will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise, and you can submit a local military hero so we can recognize them.
Halloween's going to be cool, windy, and potentially rainy. We'll talk all about it straight ahead. All right, happy Saturday, everyone. Saturday before Halloween. So strong front coming through Sunday night. Should maybe start moving into portions of the viewing area by Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Weekend rain chances. We can see some showers from the daytime heating from the sun, as well as moisture out ahead of this front. Chilly, breezy for Halloween, and maybe rainy as well. That rain should be out of the way, though, before Halloween. So today, what happened? We warmed up to 91 degrees. That's well above average for this time of year. Not quite a record set back in 1926. We had 95 degrees. All right, here's our temperatures. We've been in the 80s and 90s, overnight staying in the 70s. Tonight might be our last 70 for a while overnight, because you're going to see that boundary come through on Sunday. Look what's going to happen to our temperatures, dropping down 20 to 30 degrees below what we've had. Then you had the wind chills in there. We could see wind chills feeling like the 30s, maybe Monday and into Tuesday. So going to be a really cold Halloween. And the shock to the system with the winds, the rain, the temperatures, yes, we're not going to be acclimated to that. It's going to be very, very much on the cold side. All right, here's our future wind gusts. We can see winds in that 30, 35 mile per hour range. Again, add the rain into the mix and these strong winds, temperatures dropping down. Not going to feel too pleasant for a couple of days, especially we've been pushing 90s, 90 plus the last few days. Here's this boundary. Here's about where it is right now. It's going to head our way, start making its way into the area by Sunday afternoon and evening, then push through later Sunday night into Monday morning, getting down to Laredo and into Corpus Christi. But look, all this moisture, we can see some showers. The winds are going to spike up as the boundary pushes through, changing atmospheric pressure. And then the cooler air, after the rain and everything moves out, the cooler air moves down, Now, yes, we are looking at some cool times in the Crossroads. A lot of us welcoming those cool times as we were on a heat wave really June and through really the early part of October. There's our future tracker. It's that boundary coming through. It doesn't look like a washout. A lot of these showers come in. They're pretty quick. Maybe even some of them spotty in nature. Some areas not seeing as much activity. So we'll get some showers, maybe heavy at times, but moving through rather quickly. Here's what we got for our future rain totals. Yeah, very, very minuscule. Some areas on the coast over there in Port O'Connor and Bay City. I know some people in Bay City. Bay City might get some showers over there. Okay, let's go to our marine forecast. Here is what we have. So water temperature 74, seas 3 to 5 feet occasionally. That'll keep our bays on the choppy side. All right, Tammy's out there in the middle of Nowheresville, not going to cause any problems, really deteriorating and weakening. We got a disturbance out there off of Puerto Rico. That's only got a 20% chance of further strengthening. Then we're down there near South America. Yes, only a 10% chance that storm continues to develop and strengthen. So 76 overnight, could be our last 70s for a while overnight. 83 for tomorrow. Temperatures will start dropping as that boundary makes its way into the area. And here I got it. Windy, cold, Halloween 56. Wow, after we were pushing 96 for days and days and days, but then we do start to warm up later on in the week with a little bit of sunshine. For more weather, news, and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com. That is free on the Android and iPhone. And now we go to Sports with Gino.
Thanks, Howie. We take a look at a few of the district champions in the area. That's coming up after the break. At a Crossroads, we have multiple district champions after last night. The Goliad Tigers locked up the district title after a nail-biting victory over the London Pirates. The Tigers came into Friday night as the favorites, but the London Pirates did not care about that, striking first and putting pressure on the Tigers. But the defense came up big for Goliad with multiple big plays, including this fumble here and an interception just a play later. Eventually, Goliad tied the game up, but London just kept being a thorn in Goliad's side and would score again. Eventually, the Tiger offense would get rolling and take the lead and keep it. Final score 34-26. Goliad wins it, and they win their first district title since 2018 when they shared the crown with Edna and Yoakum. Goliad head coach Kevin Salazar said his team overcame adversity, and he's glad they can reap the benefits that he's been preaching all season long.
It's a big, 4 years ago, like I told you guys last week, we were 0-9. So to be where we're at right now, I couldn't be more proud of the kids, the program, the coaching staff. Just super excited for these guys, but there's still a lot of work to do, a lot of things to go back and fix from tonight and get some guys healthy and, get ready for next week.
Tigers are undefeated in district and will be taking on the Palacios Sharks for the final game of the regular season. Goliad is the top-ranked team in the district heading into the playoffs and will look to end the regular season on a high note with a 5-0 record. The Tidehaven Tigers have rolled through the regular season, only allowing 14 points all year. Did you hear me? 14 points through 10 weeks of football. That's insane. The Tigers are ranked number 3 in the state and undefeated. Tidehaven will host the Van Vleck Leopards in the final game of the regular season. Another team to lock up the district title last night were the Cuero Gobblers. The Gobblers needed some help last night to secure the title. Cuero needed Gonzales to beat LaGrange, and the Apaches slayed the Leopards 42-27 to help Cuero win its 3rd district title in a row. And speaking of Cuero, the Lady Gobblers also are district champions. The Lady Gobblers beat Lavernia in 4 sets, 17-25, 25-18, 25-18, and 25-20. Cuero is the number 1 seed and Lavernia is in 2nd. Now Cuero will play Bernie on Monday, October 30th at 6:30 p.m. at Seguin High School. And we have an announcement to all our NFL fans out there. This Sunday, Fox 19 will air the Texans game against the Panthers, not the Cowboys game. This is not our decision. It is the decision made by the NFL, and it is because we are geographically closer to Houston than Dallas. We are sorry for the inconvenience. The World Series Game 2 between the Texas Rangers and Arizona Diamondbacks is over, and the series is tied at 1 game apiece. Arizona dominated this one, winning 9-1. And lastly, happy birthday, Lindsay and Kayla. Hope it was a good one. And shout out to Guyton. Stay strong for all the Short Kings out there. Adam, back to you.
All right, go Short Kings. Thanks, Gino. Stay with us. Coming up, today is National Trick or Treat Day. Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus. Today's National Trick or Treat Day. That's right, it's not on Halloween this year. It's an extension of the holiday celebrated on the last Saturday in October every year. It's a weekend opportunity to host parties, attend festivals, or trick or treat depending on community schedules. The Halloween and Costume Association founded it in 2019 after first trying to change the date of the holiday itself.
So today they're supposed to be trick-or-treating and not Tuesday?
I would say, yeah, I guess it's depending on community guidelines. But
yeah,
I
they're
think
just trying to extend it because it's on a Tuesday. You
Yeah.
can't really go trick-or-treating on a Tuesday.
It should always been on a weekend because, like you said, you got school, and you got like an hour of daylight sometimes in some places that time of year.
I have a controversial take. I think they should change Thanksgiving. 'Cause
Oh.
it's on a Thursday. I mean, it's kind of like...
Then we don't get off work.
I guess so, too.
All right, well, we'll look at both of those, Halloween and Thanksgiving. We'll talk, but let's take one last look at our weather. I don't know if you want to trick or treat. I think trick or treating would be nicer today than Tuesday. Going to be on the chilly and the windy side. The rain by that time should be gone.
All right. Thanks, Gino. Thanks, Howie. And thank you all for being with us.